Some of you may have noticed an interesting thing on the schedule, that Tesla's scheduled to give the Sky update, Miguel is scheduled to give the GEG update, Colin's giving the EoR update. I said we go for it.
Did we get to exchange slides, or did we?
So we're scheduled for a remote presentation from Tesla.
I heard a ding. Is she on?
I do not see anyone on. So let's give her 60 seconds, otherwise I might swap her with Miguel.
Does anyone have a real-time communication with Tesla?
Yeah, I'll Alright, well,
Should I set up?
yeah, why don't you get set up? I think I work something over 15 minutes for 20 minutes.
That's good. The day is 12 at 1 in the morning, that's punishment day.
Alright, so with the GEG update, we have Miguel.
Alright, so give the EoR science update. As many of, I tend to be known for giving technical, depressing talks about the EoR. But I think it's one of those things that if you haven't been following in depth the conferences on EoR and stuff like that, we are, particularly in this group, are deeply focused on the details. It's hard to see from the outside exactly what's going on. I think it's important to know that the MWA EoR team is the most successful team and the most innovative team in the world. And I think we just need to say that. And that's actually fairly clear. And we need to actually talk about it. So I'm going to go through and give a bunch of things. We're going to talk about, many of these will be talks later, but so we've made a lot of progress, and it's really focused around 3 different areas, which is about precision calibration, data quality, and analysis precision. And again, we'll have many more talks about this as the day goes on, but I want to just highlight a few things about what you will see later as we go on. So let's talk about precision calibration. And I'm listing a few papers here, and I've color-coded it in such a way that the areas of which we are simply state-of-the-art, there are other people in the world who might be as good as we are. I've color-coded in green. The blue ones are the ones where we're clear internationally and have been driving the field for. So, in precision calibration, sky-based calibration, we talked about this a lot and things like that, but again, people tend to forget what we mean by calibration. The thousands of sources in a calibration, the direction-dependent in LTS field with thousands of sources. For the FHD, we are doing 50,000 sources in our calibration all the way through all the 5 modes of the instrument. That is just sort of table stakes of this. Then we went in and some really interesting work that Nicole and Catherine did about the limitations of those systematics, even at that level and fundamental. That's been very influential and actually really led to the redesign of the SK antenna. Then some fascinating work about precision redundant calibration, done by, really head up by Wen Yang, and a beautiful direct comparison of state-of-the-art redundant calibration with state-of-the-art sky calibration, and that's actually something that is specific to the MWA. It's the only MWA Phase 2 is really the only instrument that can do that. We've learned a lot about that. Then again, showing Ruby, which we'll talk about this again a little later, showing that the redundant calibrations also have a systematic noise floor associated with the sources that are missing out of catalogs and where that comes in. And so this is where a lot of people are, but of course we've moved on. And so we're really talking about what I think is more generally hybrid calibrations, particularly a lot of push with these auto bandpass calibrations, which can work potentially around some of these systematic noise floors. And these are actually important to the limits that we are pushing today. So just to show you, and of course, so when you start getting really precision calibration, as you go working down to levels of part -3 precision and better, you start finding horrible and fun things, because when you calibrate your instrument really well, so this is a couple years old, but something that Bart and Nicole identified. So this is a calibration solution, and hopefully this is playing. Is it moving? No. Come on. Oh, there we go. So this is night-by-night calibrations, and again, you see the coarse band pass and stuff like that. But you see this changing. The depth of those edges of the coarse band passes are, compared to the height, are changing night to night to night. And that was very confusing for us, because those changes are real. This is not a calibration systematic. These are real calibration changes. And then you had this lovely plot, which plotted the depth of those edges compared to the peak versus the ambient temperature. And you get this beautiful thing. And this is a digital nonlinearity within the current digital system. As the air cools down, the amplifiers in the field have higher gain, and then that works with a digital nonlinearity to pick this up. Now again, I just want to talk about this. This is the sort of thing which just appears when you start getting that calibration to that kind of precision. I wanted to go forward. There's lots of other things. Jack Lyne sent me gorgeous work here. So this is 4-ax, which is important for the EoR1 field, and the old calibration and old peel, and of course it's very bright. And then here is the latest work here, which is looking fantastically better. And again, this kind of works to pull that stuff down. The next pillar is data quality. And this is both ionospheric and RFI in particular, but other measures of quality and things like that. And in particular, trying to make sure that we're using the best data, because it's really about the best data is a major limiting. So we've been doing data quality metrics for a long time. There's been a lot of really interesting things about ionospheric behavior, really led by Chris Jordan. And then RFI, and this, in fact, what I call ultra-faint RFI, and getting rid of things that are below the RFI filtering of current techniques has actually been one of the key drivers in the latest set of limits. And then redundant calibration metrics of Wen Yang has been really at the foreground of, and again, that's getting into, it's probably RFI, but at very, very faint levels. So just talk a little bit. So this is a huge study by Jordan about the ionospheric activity, and so he's got a quality metric, and it's sort of anything less than 5 may be able to be used for EoR science. And so seeing the cumulative down here, differential up there, so you see that we're actually about 75% of the time the ionospheres are good, and interestingly enough, they seem to be quite stable night to night. So if you look at the variation within a night of the ionosphere, and his feeling is anything below about 2 is probably usable in that combination. But if an ionosphere, but it looks like if you start off with a good ionosphere, for the most part you stay with a good ionosphere through that night. And there's sort of those kinds of correlations on that. Then we have interference. We'll get another talk about this with Mike, but these are the pretty plots that I happen to have. You see things that look clean. These are all after Connor. So those both look clean, but if you go into the right space, this one is clean, this one is not. That is RFI. And in fact, if you take an image of that, Mike will show this. So this is a horizon-to-horizon image out through the second side lobes with the 50,000 brightest source, astrophysical sources subtracted. So we've had to peel off all of those. Can you see this nice little streak down there? That's an aircraft, probably. Going over Perth, it was down towards Perth, and it's getting illuminated by channel 6, digital television. We see those periodically. 10:30 is when there seems to be a flight that comes in, and a few other things like that. Removing that is... Where's it going from the two? Getting this is crucial for us. And then analysis, and really kind of analysis precision and development of those sorts of techniques. And so a couple of really nice papers earlier this year by Kath about robust statistics. I'm looking at the multi-point statistics, and then the bispectrum, which actually is one of my favorites for this year. And then in the power spectrum analyses, and we have a bunch of different pieces in here, which are almost techniques. These are things which are embedded in the way we do things. So the fact that we have matched pipelines that we can do direct comparisons between. We do end-to-end error propagation. We start at the front, we analytically take our errors all the way through and compare them to match different data sets, end-to-end simulations, and then a whole bunch of other things which are really associated, enabled by these test data, provenance, merge sets, golden sets, and things like that. And these are ideas to become very important within the community that have been really, I think, developed by the team. So just to go through, so here's a plot from Kath's paper on the robust statistics and power spectrum state. An amplitude here, and you see some spread here as a function of state Carl. Another paper which was the bispectrum. So this is something that's been suggested for a long time as a more advanced statistic on the power spectrum because, unlike dark matter, it's nonlinear in the epoch of reionization. But how does that actually work with foregrounds and things? And so Kath did a gorgeous paper. So this is an idea that's been floating around for a while, but it's actually how it feeds into the foreground. And she not only showed how to do the power spectrum in the context of foreground, she then actually went off and did it using MWA data. And I think interesting. And then here's a projection that she sent about where, and she thinks that the foreground will be handleable above a state parallel of about 0.02 in that direction. But I think that's a very interesting paper, but a ton of work went into that to take it from kind of a basic idea to actually a first implementation. A few other things, these are just slides that are pulled because there's sort of standard we do, so in simulations where you put in the EoR and you get the EoR out. Then other things, for example, comparing two pipelines. So the green and the blue here are the same data set with the two major pipelines going through to give us confidence that we're actually doing that and doing that correctly. And then we have these results which are coming out. So the MWA phase 1 results, which we just got the referee report back, and so that's getting very close. Interestingly enough, we get somewhat more sensors in the north-south polarization, which is interesting. But we start having these limits here, and we talk, so not only these limits, an order of magnitude better than anything else in the field, there's another part here, which those gray lines which are getting to zero. Dominance, and I'm going to come back to that. We also have another paper by Wen-Yang, which is in collaboration with you, and again, this is showing a series of different redshifts, again, into two different polarizations. Again, those are these gray areas, and then Wen-Yang has a really nice plot that he made for me here, where he actually takes the two. So the blue line is the MWA phase 1 limit, and the orange line is the MWA phase 2 limit. And I think there's some really interesting things here. So, first of all, this here is the thermal noise sensitivity. Here about the same number of observations, but phase 2 is more sensitive, which is what these are trying to do. So it's kind of nice to see that there. In general, at lower K, the phase 1 is doing better. And that may be related to the better UV coverage the phase 1 has. But the phase 2 is doing pretty well up here. And that's a combination. The calibration plays a huge role in that. And then we do have areas scattered along which are noise dominated. And I want to highlight that. That's the first time in the field that anyone has been noise dominated. Every other meaningful limit has been systematics dominated. And within the MWA, people have thought about why is the EoR not testing more data? We've kind of beat our brains against the first thing. year of phase 1 data and the first year of phase 2 data and analyzed it over and over and over again. We thought go deeper and deeper and deeper. But the answer is this, or an answer is that if you're systematics dominated, what you don't need is more data. What you need to do is do more precision and figure out how to do it. So we've been working deeper and deeper. But we just hit an interesting phase change. We're now more dominant. So we now are, what the EoR collaboration is looking to do within the next year or two, is to then start taking these techniques and go analyzing more data with these data quality tests, this analysis precision, and various other choices. Now, does that mean that all we have to do is integrate now? No, we will go deeper and we will find more things and stuff. But this is, in fact, the plan that we've been working towards for a long time. It's a little stunning to be standing up here and say, actually, that's happened. But that we've actually looked at 1 season with the data with both 1 and 2. We've hit the noise floor. And so now the idea is to go longer and look at all that other data that we've been piling up. So there'll be a lot more of that in the next. So maybe just to conclude, we'll get the progress. That's hard for us to say, and particularly because the progress is about getting all the details right, and it's about that detail focus that allows us to move forward. And I think there's a lot more to come. And there's a bunch of concepts, so I'll finish that. That's time for a question to do with Miguel.
I like the assertion behind the first quarter. That's really good. So to turn the assertion into something else, could you briefly describe the trajectory of the competition? Who are they, and where do they sit at the moment, and where are they going to sit in 2 years' time? Well, Miguel said we need to say it, so say it to camera.
So let's talk about who the major players are. So LOFAR is a major player. They have a very good. Hera Paper is a major player, and the other one I mark is China. So they are not working in the ethic of reionization, but they're in 21 centimeter cosmology. We talk to them, and those are what I see as the 4 major teams who are hammering away on data. I think if you look at 2 things have been of interest. So I think what this team has done particularly well is that we've identified what the key questions are. And so we identified calibration as being the crucial thing that needed to be solved and worked down, but then also identified like the systematic limits of that and then pushed forward into solving those problems. And we're really out at the forefront on that. More recently, we've identified this data quality, and so the really low-level contamination was a new thing. That's opened up as another branch as to what people are pushing on. I think that's been deeply influential. The other thing that's been influential, but is kind of a funny thing to say, is a bunch of this, we did put a bunch of analysis work. And these are all very boring for people who are outside. But for example, I think it's fair to say that the paper Hera analysis is in the process of rewriting their pipeline to incorporate most of these things. And so that's stuff that we've already done, but it's we've been able to learn quickly because of this infrastructure in the way we work that we've put in. And so I think that's been interesting. And the last thing I think I'll say is that we managed to avoid a major pitfall. We have not worked on data-driven foreground suppression. And this has been an area that a bunch of other groups have spent a lot of time on, and it's been really problematic, and it's been behind a lot of retraction of limits by other groups. And that's just something that, because we were never able to quite prove it to our satisfaction, have never focused a lot of time on. So, are other people who make progress and things? Of course, they're good too. That being said, I've been really impressed with this team and its ability to identify the key questions. And at the moment, I think the key questions that the field is dealing with that was largely been identified in the last few years by this team. Did I answer your question?
No, not really.
Let me say it another way. It's not about data.
Is LOFAR 2 going to do it? Right, are any of the upgrades for LOFAR 2 going to make because I think the LOFAR people would also say they put an enormous amount of effort into these types of things as well. Is LOFAR 2 going to do it? Are there prospects there for LOFAR 2, or is HERA looking so good that after adopting all of the great stuff that you've done, are they going to get the answer within a couple of years because they've got the best instrument all of a sudden?
So I think I'm going to answer this in two ways. So let me do an analysis and a data quality. On the analysis side, yes, both of those teams are adopting a bunch of the things that we've pioneered. We're not planning to sit still. And so, will they catch up? Well, they're certainly going to try, and we're going to try and stay ahead, but we have a lead. Data quality becomes really interesting. So I think my answer may have changed in the last year to 6 months, which is we're seeing things like this aircraft thing as important. The MRO is a unique place. And if it's important for us to be finding those, that's going to be harder to do in sites that aren't now. That's not a fully developed thought, and I don't know how far that's going to run. We're working on those papers. I still didn't answer your question. I never make you happy. Good enough.
Probably time for one more question from Miguel while we try and get our remote presentation set up.
Okay, so Miguel, you took off another 720 hours on the MWA. How long is it going to take you to get through those hours?
Well, so I think...
And do you need more data beyond that?
Of course. So I think let me answer and then I'll throw it over. So I think one of the things that, in the limit, for both Nicole and Wenyang, I know the numbers a little bit are for Nicole, one of the key things is taking the very seamless data, the data between the batches, picked out without 1,000 observations. We then threw another 30% out of the team in order to get rid of that thing to our pocket. The best observations are really important. Now, and unfortunately that means that you've got to take, if you're having to filter more strongly than you would expect to, you've got to take a little bit more data. I think the other thing that's a little interesting here, I don't think the environment's getting cleaner. When I see SpaceX throw 60 satellites and things like that, there's in certain ways an argument to be made that this is a strategic thing to have this observation in the can with the quality before the environment hits it. And then we keep analyzing it as best we can. And if you don't have the data of this sufficient quality, you can't then necessarily take a look.
Steve, you do have an extra.
I'm not sure if everyone can hear me.
You want
Bear with us. I can hear you.
Yeah, no, I get it, but, you know, I think they get built really well, and, Nicole said it's something that we would be speaking to, and we haven't actually done the last thing, but we didn't do it.
Okay, can you try talking now?
Developing calibration for them, the
Okay,
Wi-Fi
can you hear me?
connection.
Yes, we're answering one last question, then we'll start.
We're trying to get some of these ideas back, and it's a little bit of a process, but qualitatively, we don't have a qualitative answer to this. When we grow the data with the ultrasonic RFI, this is stuff that gets passed card, suddenly calibration is, all those observations that didn't calibrate right, go away. And so if we can reprocess, but that's a lightweight thing. You could imagine pushing that through the POSI data set, reflagging at a deeper level. It actually makes the data quality for everybody better. And our qualitative thing is, you get rid of that stuff, everything calibrates.
All right, so let's thank Miguel again.